Waterton Lakes National Park. Waterton Lakes National Park is a national park located in the southwest corner of Alberta, Canada. It borders Glacier National Park in Montana, United States. Waterton was the fourth Canadian national park, formed in 1895 and named after Waterton Lake, in turn after the Victorian naturalist and conservationist Charles Waterton. Its range is between the Rocky Mountains and prairies. This park contains 505 square kilometers, 195 square miles, of rugged mountains and wilderness. Operated by Parks Canada, Waterton is open all year, but the main tourist season is during July and August. The only commercial facilities available within the park are located at the Waterton Park town site. This park ranges in elevation from 1,290 meters, 4,232 feet, at the town site to 2,910 meters, 9,547 feet, at Mount Blackiston. It offers many scenic trails, including Crypt Lake Trail. In 2012/2013, Waterton Lakes National Park had 402,542 visitors. The park was the subject of a short film in 2011's National Parks Project, directed by Peter Lynch and scored by Cadence Weapon, Laura Barrett and Mark Hamilton. William Pierce, a Dominion land surveyor, was the first to suggest a park be established in the vicinity of Waterton Lakes in his 1886 annual report, although no action was taken by the government. In 1893, Frederick William Godsell, a rancher who resided north of the lakes, wrote Pierce referencing his 1886 report and suggested the area be turned into a park reserve. Pierce forwarded the proposal, noting the land had no value for agricultural and minimal grazing potential. Minister of the Interior Thomas Mayne Daly came across the proposal and directed a park reserve be created in the area. Finally, on May 30, 1895, Order in Council 1895 to 1621 established a 140 square kilometers, 54 square miles, unnamed forest park under the Dominion Lands Act. While oil had been found in the area since the late 1880s, the government began approving reservation and sales of land for prospecting in 1898. In 1901, John Lynham of Okotoks organized the Rocky Mountain Drilling Company. In 1902 he drilled the first oil exploration well in Alberta on the site of oil seeps near Cameron Creek. Despite a small recovery of 34 degrees API sweet oil, neither this well nor 7 later exploration attempts resulted in production. The oil well and surrounding area was designated a National Historic Site of Canada in 1965. By 1905, more than half of the sections of land comprising the park had been sold or reserved for oil exploration. On September 21, 1905, Frederick William Godsell wrote the Secretary of the Interior requesting he consider expanding the park reserve for scenic and recreational purposes. The Dominion Forest Reserves Act, which came into force in 1906, established the Kootenay Lakes Forest Reserve under the authority of the Superintendent of Forestry. In 1911, Minister of the Interior Frank Oliver introduced the Dominion Forest Reserves and Parks Act, which designated all existing mountain parks, Elk Island and Buffalo Parks, into forest reserves, with the authority to designate all or part of the reserve a Dominion Park, later National Park. On June 8, 1911, Order in Council PC 1338 designated 35 square kilometers, 14 square miles, of the area of Waterton Lakes Forest Reserve as Dominion Park, much smaller than expected by resident staff, and only a small portion of the original 1895 reserve of 140 square kilometers, 54 square miles. In 1914, Frank Oliver's successor as Minister of the Interior, William James Roche, significantly expanded the area of Waterton Lakes Park to 1,096 square kilometers, 423 square miles. In 1920, William Thompson, the designer and head professional of the original golf course in Banff National Park, was brought to Waterton to design a 9-hole golf course. A clubhouse would be constructed in 1928, and the course was expanded to 18 holes between 1931 and 1936. Further renovations to the course in the 1950s were designed by golf course architect Stanley Thompson. The Prince of Wales Hotel, one of Canada's Grand Railway hotels, was constructed between 1926 and 1927 adjacent to Upper Waterton Lakes by the Great Northern Railway of the United States in an attempt to lure American tourists during the U.S. Prohibition era. The hotel, which opened in July 1927, is the only Grand Railway hotel in Canada to be constructed by an American railway company. The hotel was named after the Prince of Wales, later King Edward VIII, in a transparent attempt to entice him to stay in the hotel on his 1927 Canadian tour, but the prince stayed at his own nearby ranch in Pekisco, Alberta instead. The hotel was designated as a National Historic Site of Canada on November 6, 1992. There are so many things to do in Waterton Lakes National Park you'll likely need to visit a few times before you truly feel you've gotten the most out of the park. From places to eat, hotels to stay, and hikes to enjoy, you will not get bored. After a few years of living in Alberta, we finally had the time to check out Waterton Lakes National Park in southern Alberta. All I can say is wow, I don't know why it took us so long to visit. This part of the Canadian Rockies really blew us away, and we can't wait to return. Bears Hump is a must-do short Alberta hike in Waterton National Park. It's a great Canadian Rockies hike, as almost anyone can make it up to Bears Hump and get incredible views over the park. On a clear day, you can easily see Montana from here. It's a beautiful, short, and easy hike that any visitor to Waterton should do. Located right in town, it's easily doable in under an hour, meaning you can complete your days in Waterton with plenty of other things to do. Here's how to hike Bears Hump in Waterton National Park. The Crypt Lake Trail in Waterton National Park has been named one of the most thrilling hikes in the world and one of the best trails in Canada. Hikers reach the trailhead via boat from the Waterton Township for a full day on the trail. The trail climbs 900 meters over 10 kilometers, making its way through the Canadian Rockies. The path requires hikers to cling to cliff sides, climb an exposed ladder, and squeeze through a natural tunnel. Along the way, there is no shortage of views with lakes, waterfalls, and towering mountains overhead. In the end, hikers are rewarded with a turquoise blue lake perfect for a chilly dip on a hot day. The International Peace Park is located right near the marina and honors the unity of Waterton Lakes National Park in Alberta and Glacier National Park in Montana. Together they are the Waterton Glacier International Peace Park, which is the first of its kind in the world. The park has nice walking paths and a few of the famous red Adirondack Parks Canada chairs. After hiking, one of the best things to do in Waterton National Park is to enjoy high tea at the beautiful Prince of Wales Hotel. Seriously, there aren't many places better to have high tea than here. The views are incredible, and the Prince of Wales is an iconic hotel in the park, more on that later. Hotel guests and non-guests alike can enjoy having sandwich squares and pastries every day from 12 to 4 p.m. If you're wondering what to do in Waterton in the evening, consider listening to a few old stories. The Prince of Wales was built by the Great Northern Railway in 1927, and stepping in truly feels like stepping back in time. From the furniture, rooms, and elevator to the cocktails, coming in here is a different experience. Every evening at 8 p.m., the staff at the Prince of Wales also share stories from Waterton, and even a few ghost stories from the hotel. Open to both guests and non-guests. One of the most famous Waterton attractions is the Red Rock Canyon Parkway. The Red Rock Canyon Parkway is one of the most beautiful drives in Alberta. It's 9 kilometers of rolling hills, mountains, and grassland prairie with plenty of pull-off points. You can drive it, or bring your own bike, or rent one from Pat's downtown and cycle the whole way. Taking in the views along this are some of the best things to do in Waterton. Even if you're coming from elsewhere in Alberta, I promise you haven't seen colors in the mountains like this before. The famous Red Rock Canyon is at the end of the Red Rock Canyon Parkway. An awesome feature in Waterton National Park, and one that you can do an easy hike around as well. This is a popular place, especially on weekends, so make sure to get here early. While downtown Waterton is small, there are some great things to do here, plus great restaurants to enjoy along Lake Waterton. Some of our favorite bites to eat are Wieners of Waterton, the Taco Bar, and the Thirsty Bear. We also couldn't resist having ice cream on a hot summer day at the Big Scoop Ice Cream Parlor. Whether it be by kayak, canoe, or stand-up paddleboard, it's important to make sure you get out on Lake Waterton while there. Seriously, it's one of the best things to do in Waterton, especially on a hot day. If you don't have your own, you can rent paddleboards and kayaks at Pat's Waterton for $25 per hour. On the shores of Waterton townsite is a gorgeous pebble beach that runs all the way from the townsite to the Waterton campground near the Prince of Wales Hotel. You can set up some towels and chairs here in the sun, or choose a shaded spot under the trees and admire Vimy Peak across the lake. You can bring a kayak or stand-up paddleboard and get out on the water. Or if you dare, take a swim in the chilly Upper Waterton Lake. Even during peak August, the water is sure to take your breath away. There's a nice footpath to walk around when you want to stretch your legs. Cameron Falls is another great thing to do in Waterton, and one of the best Alberta waterfalls to see. It's easily accessible from down and incredibly beautiful. It's here you see fresh mountain water flow down and stand on the viewing bridge to get sprayed by cool mist. Visiting Cameron Falls is great for all ages, as you don't have to trek far to see the beauty. Just a short stop from the car, and you'll be able to experience Waterton's wonders. The Lower Bertha Falls hike is similar to Bear's Hump in terms of difficulty, but you are rewarded with waterfall sprays instead of views to another country. This is a great kid-friendly hike with easy terrain and minimal elevation gain. Along the way to the falls, you'll get plenty of views of Waterton Lake. Once you reach the falls, you have the option to turn this into a longer hike and continue to Bertha Lake, that is another 3 kilometers, 400 meters, and 21 switchbacks away. The reward is a brilliant green-blue lake. Shoreline Cruise at the Waterton Marina runs boat tours daily around Waterton Lake. They run multiple cruises daily for $55 per adult. It's a great way to get out on the water. You'll also cross the border between Canada and the United States, with a quick pit stop in Goat Glacier National Park in Montana. The cruise runs all summer, and the friendly staff will educate you about the details and history of Waterton National Park along the way. The Patamoxy Cultural Center is one of the best Indigenous experiences in Alberta, and helps visitors connect with the true spirit of Waterton. It's here you can visit and learn about the history of Patamoxy, meaning the inner sacred lake. The Waterton Lakes Golf Course is one of the oldest golf courses in Canada. This is an 18-hole course that golf enthusiasts will love. This course was inspired by Stanley Thompson's design and constructed between 1929 to 1939, and is absolutely incredible thanks to the mountain vistas. The golf course is open 7 days a week during the summer. The Canadian Rockies are among the top places in the world to go horseback riding. Alpine Stables is a family-run establishment that is well known and respected in the community. They have been running tours since 1969 and continue to take visitors on the 200-plus km of trails in Waterton Lakes National Park. Bring a road bike, mountain bike, or e-bike to Waterton National Park so that you can enjoy some of the best trails in the summer. The Red Rock Canyon Trail, mentioned above, is 36 kilometers from town and the best trails to cycle. 2 other great trails to consider is biking to Cameron Lake via Camina Parkway. You can stop at the first oil well in Western Canada. The trails to Crandall Lake, Lynham Falls, Roe Lakes, Akamina Pass, Cameron Lakeshore and Carthewalderson all are located along this road. The other is the Kootenay Brown Trail, which is a multi-use trail that offers views of Middle Waterton Lake and the Prince of Wales Hotel.